Okay, there was a little gap आ जाता है. Well, again restarting from the same point from where we left. This is what I'm discussing the table. This data has been given to you. For the time being, you forget about all the bracket values because we are going to calculate these bracket values. These are the actually expected values. Now the observed values which have already been given to you in the table. How are we calculating the expected values? By doing the row sums, by doing the column sums and dividing them by 369. This is the grand total. The first expected value you have calculated. Now see, in the same style, you'll calculate the second expected value. First row E12. You see, in matrices E11, E12, E13, you understand? E11 means element at the first row, first column. 1, 2 means element in the first row, second column, element in the first row, third column, first row, fourth column, like that. E22 means element in the second row, second column. Okay. So the elements are there in front of you in the form of the table which is given to you in the problem. Now, how to calculate E12? I'll just tell you a few of them, and then remaining you can yourself understand. First row and the second column. Now, my first row sum is what? This is 247. I'm going to calculate the expected value which is there in first row and the second column. So first row sum is 247. Second column I'm talking about. So the second column element sum is 91. So multiply 247 with 91 and you will be always dividing 369 because this is the grand sum. And just simplify, use your calculator. In the denominator will always be the grand total, okay, which you are getting at the right bottom corner. This is your grand total. E13, element in the first row, third column. Element in the first row, third column is the reptiles. So first row sum is 247, third column sum is 37, and grand total is 369. If the figures have been written correctly, then calculation should not be a big matter for you. You have to use your calculators. Now, E14, element in the first row, same total. 4 means the fourth column, 137, and divided by 369, right? Element 15, first row total, fifth column total is 137, sorry, here, and then simplify 91.5. Now I switch over to the next row. Next row, element will be written as E21. E21 means the second row and the first column. So second row sum is what? 122, and the first column sum is 81. So multiply 122 with 81 and divide by the grand total. Okay, you get this value. E22, second row, second column. The second row is sum is 122. Second column sum is 91. Multiply them or then divide by 369 and keep on doing in the same style. So I think this step is just drill practice for you, that for each cell you are doing and observing the same procedure, but of course every time either row is changing or the column is changing. Okay, so for that matter you have to be careful, but nevertheless you have to divide by the grand total to each and every cell. After that, these are all, gentlemen, the 5 and 5, 10 expected values. After finding all these values, I will advise you. It's not mandatory, not must, but I'll advise you. Better you follow my advice. Then in that way, you will be not be much confused while calculating your test value. For that matter, a good thing will be if for a particular observed value in the bracket you write its calculated expected value. 68 is at 1 position in the first row, first column, and its expected value at 1 position you have calculated here as 54.22. Just write it in the bracket because together we are going to put them in the formula. So it will be good if they are written close to each other. Otherwise, you're right, seeing one value from one place and then you are locating where is its corresponding expected value. तो ये haphazardly if they are written, तो फिर इसको तलाश करने में you might put a wrong expected value at a wrong observed value, तो गलत हो जाएगा फिर. If there is a single mistake, if you are not very much vigilant, careful and mistakenly अगर गलत लिख दिया आपने तो फिर the whole show will be spoiled. A single mistake will lead to the disaster. Your answer won't be correct. So you have to be very careful. So my advice is that in front of every observed value, whatever the expected values, these are the 10 expected values you have calculated. So keep on writing. Now this element is at first row and second column. Look, this is the expected value for first row, second column. Put it in the bracket. Now I talk about this one. This is in your second row and fourth column, amphibians. Okay, 10 is an element for the amphibians and in front of the threatened species. So element you will say this is 2, 4. Okay, and whatever its expected value you have calculated is 7.60. So write it in front of 2, 4. So ensure that in the brackets you are writing the expected values at the appropriate observed values. उनके front पे लिखना है. आगे पीछे एक भी values कर दी आपने, then the show will be spoiled. Now from these tables, keep on putting the observed and expected values. So now you find the test value by using the formula. Formula is same that you had been using your test goodness of fit test. I square sigma O minus E whole square upon E. My first value, observed value was 68. My first expected value, which I wrote in the bracket, was 54.22. Take its square and divide by the expected value. Expected value is this one, 54.22. Okay, divided by plus. Then sigma means you keep on adding the things. Don't subtract, don't multiply. Ensure you are putting a plus sign in between every observed and expected value. My next observed value was 76, and in correspondence to this, we got an expected value as 60.91. Just subtract these two, take a square and divide by the expected value. And in that way, gentlemen, you will be writing all the 10 observed and expected values together using the formula, taking the squares in the numerator and divided by every expected value. अगर ये गलत नहीं किया आपने तो आंसर ठीक आएगा. If you are writing any number at a wrong place, so surely you are going to spoil your show. Now simplify them one by one. Your calculators are with you. The bad thing amongst most of the students is that they are even unable to use their calculators in a proper way. अब आप छोटी सी ये वैल्यू है, इसको भी आप गलत कैलकुलेट करेंगे. If I give you this problem to 10 students, every 10 will come with a different answer. हर एक आंसर अलग होगा, सबका सिमिलर नहीं होगा. Whereas the values are same, so why are you getting the different answers? Because you do not know how to handle your calculators. Okay, my first simplification after that first is 3.5021. Better you take 4 digits after the decimal, ताकि end पे जाके जब हम total करें तो हमारा answer should be close to the accuracy. Okay, अगर आपने यहीं पे round off करना शुरू कर दिया तो you will be not be able to get the correct answer. Similarly, the second element, subtract 60.91 from 76, then take a square and divide by this, and you're directly getting the answer as 3.738. Keep on calculating every term which is written here, and you will be getting these values. उसी तरह लिखते जाइए उन्हीं रोज में, फिर सबको आप टोटल कर दीजिए. देखिए मैंने ऊपर 4 वैल्यूज लिखी थी तो I wrote the four values after the calculations ताकि confusion ना रहे. If you want to check कि कहाँ गलती हुई है, फिर सेकंड रो में तो सेकंड रो में आंसर लिखिए, थर्ड रो का आंसर है थर्ड रो में लिखिए, कोई प्रॉब्लम. There is no problem for the space. लिखते जाइए, क्या मसला है? You are provided with extra sheets, and in the end you will be summing up all these values, and that will be the answer for the test value. 45.0625 is the answer for the test value. Decision is exactly the same you had been doing in the past in every exercise that you are to make. A positively skewed curve for the chi-square distribution, right tail will be longer than the left. First you locate CV critical values. Okay, देखिए एक critical value हमने अल्फा 0.05 पर निकाली थी, that was 9.48, और दूसरी critical value we found 13.27 for alpha equal to 0.01. If you remember, in CV we found all these two values. अब देखिए where is your test value falling? 45 is far behind. I mean, keep on moving to the right side. Long ago, as much the value will be smaller, it will be close to zero, and as much the value will be larger, you will move to the right side. Large values are always written on the right side. So your test value is falling in either case in the critical region. You look here in the figure. So whenever test value falls in the critical region, there is only one yardstick to decide about the case, that you are to reject the null hypothesis. Okay. In every such cases we had been doing and using the same yardstick. So reject H naught since the test value falls in the critical region. The result is not different for alpha equal to 0.01. देखें आप, whatever the answer you are to find for alpha 0.05, the same answer you will be writing for alpha 0.01, because for the two CVs, the test value is in either case falling in the critical region. So in either case, we have to say that you have to reject the null hypothesis. And then while deciding in the summary, in step number 5, we looked at step number 4. Here you are rejecting H naught, and let's see what we wrote in H naught. This is your H naught. So you are rejecting it. Okay, the number of endangered species is independent of the number of threatened species. We are rejecting this statement. So when H naught is rejected, you are going to support H1. So, and in H1 is your claim. So what sentence you will be writing? There is enough evidence to support the claim that, and good thing now you're not to go back to your books or the statement of the question. The statement is already written here. So what sentence will be written in summary? That there is sufficient evidence to support the claim that the number of endangered species is dependent upon the number of threatened species. So they are related. Okay. अगर threatened species का मसला खराब हो रहा है, of course endangered species भी उसी पे depend कर रही हैं. So there is a big relationship between these two. This is what we are concluding, and we are supporting this claim. I hope this question is understood by everyone. Now I'm going to unmute your mics so that you can discuss with me. Then we'll be doing some more problems. Thank you.